Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Beyond Good and Evil. Today we're going to be tackling the Nutripills Factory, the second dungeon in this game, the first real one, since the Black Isles was kind of short, and this one's going to be quite a long one. It's going to be about an hour long. Okay, so last time we left off, we went to the Iris Network, and they were telling us about how the Alpha sections are a corrupt government working with the Doms against the Hylians. We don't know why they would do that, but we know that they are doing that from what we can, from what we see and what we've heard from an inside man named Double H. So, because Double H disappeared while on his mission in here, we are going to go investigate and see if he's still here and still alive. Also, we're going to be reporting to the Hylians that the Alpha sections are the corrupt government that they are. Now, without further ado, we do have that little password system right there. Because we're friends with the mayor, we have no problems getting around it. All we gotta do is take a picture of it and we will get the password a couple seconds later. However, they do use that as a way to keep your progress in check.
Keep on our toes now, Jade.
Don't worry, Uncle Page. We'll just take some pictures and get home.
Black Mesa, but the Black Isles. And we saw that the dungeon was mainly made up of a couple puzzles and combat. But this game is going to be different. This game is actually going to be focused more on dungeons, if you would call them, based around stealth, which I find is an interesting take on the adventure genre and is a twist that I prefer and would prefer to see in more video games. It is one of the reasons why I would like to see a sequel to Beyond Good and Evil. And you'll see here we have a couple of easy to avoid guards right here. They are pretty much, to get past these guys, they are going to be looking in different directions. You can just crouch walk around them and you'll be pretty much safe. And you're going to also want to look around, because when you're sneaking around, sometimes the Doms are guarding PA1s and Crystal Pearls, and it's important to go grab those Crystal Pearls if you want all 88 of them, and if you want all 13 PA1s. So keep that in mind. This was on another easy one to get by since it's only our second one. Just sneak by when the other guy is looking.
That's not all, Jade. That's not all. A Reaper? They're sicking a Reaper on us. Looks like he's on the prowl. He must keep an eye on the ducks. It's getting too risky, Jade. We're needed back at the lighthouse. Let's stop while we still can.
If the Iris Network is telling the truth, then this is where we're needed most.
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. Nothing personal, Jade. Even the Vaders have been screwed with. Hang in there, old buddy. Uncle Page will make it all better.
You think you can fix it?
I'll give it a go, but don't be expecting any miracles. Took one heck of a jolt to the look of that cable. It's gonna be needing a new beater, too. It's up to you to find an organ donor.
A fuse. Oh, where do you expect me to find a fuse around here?
Gotta have one. He's in bad shape.
There are these little ventilation areas on the sides of some areas. If you get caught by an Alpha section, you can actually run to those areas and the Alpha sections will lose track of you. It's a very handy thing because sometimes you can just be minding your own business and for some reason you get caught even though you shouldn't have gotten caught. However, I'm very stupid you can't enter this room without a specific item, a specific dungeon item yet. So we're going to have to come back here later and go get the dungeon item first. That's one of the other problems I had with recording this part. After I had done it the first time, I didn't want to do it again, so I recorded this 2 weeks after recording part 3. So at this point, I've been away from the game for about 2 weeks, and I only played it the other day to make sure that I had this part ready and recorded for. I don't think I have mentioned this before, that this game was created by the Rayman creative designer, and that he based Jade off of his wife, who was very independent, but at the same time wasn't exactly masculine like other female protagonists in video games. I think the next animal we're going to take a picture of is, I think, going to give you a couple of laughs for anyone who's a Rayman fan. Go to this cow right here, and you would never notice this if you weren't looking for it. Go to the cow right here, and you'll see this little mosquito. If you guys recognize it, it's the little mosquito from Rayman. I love its species. Its species is called Aedes raymanus. At least they had the humor to include something like that from Rayman. I did appreciate that little Easter egg. But continuing on, we're going to go up an elevator that was over here. There's an elevator right here, and we're going to have Paige send us up in it. It's one of the other little things that the co-op character can do, is other than pressing switches for you, is and other than doing their super action, which helps you in combat, they do make sure that you're doing the game right. It's like the password. If you don't have the co-op partner, then you don't end up getting past this part. I also like to say you can smack your co-op partner in the face and he will not sustain damage. That's something I really do like, because in this game, for some reason, they love walking in front of me, and they also like walking in front of enemies when they're trying to fight them. I'll be just fighting the enemies regularly, and they'll get in the way.
Your sunny smile is thanks enough.
Yeah, I'll give you a sunny smile.
Now, we could just go straight out for the alpha section and knock them over, but that there was an alpha section ahead of the conveyor belt guarding a door. First off, we don't have the code to that door, and we would get caught if we tried using the door from our position. So instead, we're going to use this back room to get around the guard and find our next report objective. The first thing we need to do, though, is grab a couple Starkos and accidentally eat a box of K-Bumps, because I'm stupid that way, and I didn't realize that pressing the circle button would do that right now. I had meant to press the triangle button, but I made a boo-boo. We all do eventually. So now that we've spent like $1,000 on food, we need to go over to this cabinet right here. So here is the infamous Double H. Basically, we need to take a picture of the fact that he's being tortured. This will prove that the DOMs are torturing Hylians for the with the alpha sections, and will prove that Iris is indeed correct with their suspicions that the alpha section is a corrupt government. It's simple. Just take a picture of Double H while he's writhing in pain. Then you gotta take a picture of one of the photo codes. You'll have to wait a couple seconds for the code, of course, like you did last time, and you'll get it. This one is W9X7. Sometimes they spell funny words, like I said in the third part, they'll spell Jade or they'll spell Paige. It's kind of cool to see that, and the fact that They had a couple of not random words. But here's the dungeon item. It's a glove. Now, the purpose of this glove is now that when you go into camera mode, you can press the circle button and you will throw a gyro disc. This gyro disc can be used to kill enemies and activate switches and activate things from afar that typically you would be out of range with. It's pretty simple. It's like a boomerang from Ocarina of Time, or I would have to more associate with Twilight Princess because that's the game I played more of.
You alright?
They turned my brain to jelly.
Are you our contact? Are you Double H?
Not sure.
Does the iris mean anything to you?
Listen here, Miss Thyris.
Jade. My name is Jade. And I haven't the foggiest how we're gonna get out of here.
For that, I may be of some assistance there.
So you are Double H.
Double H, Triple Z, oh, whatever pleases you, don't ask me. All I know is that in another 10 minutes, I was a goner. I owe you my life.
Hence, you can count on me, Miss Thyris.
Jade. My name is Jade.
At your service, Miss Jade Thyris.
His body, and now he's only shoes. So you do need those shoes. They are important to the end of the game. You need them before you can beat the game. Keep that in mind. And I also recall back in a certain M disc from Paige that we saw schematics of his shoes. Huh. Well, moving on. We have 2 electrical gates to deal with, and that's pretty simple to deal with when you got these laser robots that are completely inaccurate at times. All you have to do is like the first one, push them into the appropriate slots. And there you go. Now you don't go into the first one right there. It won't give you all the M discs if you miss this one right here. Go to the computer room, and we have yet another M.
Hang on, Jade! Jet boots attack! Jade, need help!
Well, like all bosses, we needed to quickly take a picture of this guy before he gets killed by us. He's the Reaper that Paige was so afraid of, and he is he's a pretty easy boss if you guys pattern down. What you need to do is he's occasionally going to jump up to one of the rafters, and then he's going to just try shooting stuff at you. If you shoot the gyro discs at him, he will come on back down, and you will have to shoot more gyro discs at him so he'll block his face and won't shoot things at you and stomp whenever you get near. Otherwise, you cannot approach him really. He'll do that little stomp, that little green arrow stomp that he just did. That attack hits for 3 or 4 hearts, I'm not exactly sure which. But I know it does do fair bits amount of damage, and you want to try and avoid it. Try to avoid it. But shooting a gyro disc at him will stun him, and doing the combo from Jade will also do quite a fair bit of damage. I think the full combo you only have to do it 4 or 5 times, and he's pretty much done for. Of course, like I said, since it had been a week or 2 since I had played this game, I had forgotten the timing for the combo when I played this part. But needless to say, afterwards he falls down into the pit. He's dead. He will drop a pearl. We're not going to grab that until the very end of this part though, due to the fact that it's just more convenient to go pick it up then rather than now.
Ended up on a silver platter with an apple in my mouth, if it wasn't for you.
Shut up.
So now that we have the dungeon item we so desperately needed for the electrical closet, we can head on over and we can finally do what we need to do to open the door to the closet to begin with. Like I said earlier, you don't need to get the 2 fuses that are in this area, but it's suggested because it's, like I said, just convenient. Also, there's a map on the wall. I'm gonna zoom out there and take a picture. Now we have the whole detail of the entire place, which is, I still think, a really nice feature and should be in more video games. But that could be another argument entirely. I of course fail here for a moment, and while trying to position this electrical outlet, this electrical breakage, this little break in the wire, you gotta position the fan so that it'll touch the wire and at the same time touch the switch right there. However, if you approach it from the side I was approaching it from, you'll never get it. So just approach it from the side that's obviously more convenient. Also, I'm picking up the boxes of K-bumps here, mainly for the fact that like I said, you need to store them up for the last boss, because there's a section in the last boss that I find particularly annoying and particularly bad, just particularly hard. So now we have the triangle key card here, but we're not going to get it without a fight. These enemies, I think, are the most annoying enemies in the entire game, and that's for a simple reason. If you touch them at all when they're red, you will hurt yourself, and they have a lot of invincibility frames. That being said, I wasn't playing my best right here, so I ended up getting hit a lot. The worst part is the fact that you take 1 full heart whenever you hit them. Now, of course, you could just cheese the game, and you can super action, and super action will defeat them immediately. But like I said, I do prefer watching Jay do the martial arts that the game came with, and I prefer seeing that, if only for the fact that I think it's more interesting to watch than pressing the triangle button and constantly cheesing the game out. So I used the box of K-bumps here, if only for the fact that there is a lot of these guys now. There's 5, and since there's an odd number, you can't just cheese the game out. I do cheese the game here just a little bit to make the numbers a little more manageable, because like I said, I do still find these guys the most annoying enemies in the game. I will always find these guys the most annoying enemies in this game. So I just lowered the numbers to 1, if only for the fact that, like I said, I dislike this enemy. But you do have to fight the last one legitimately, so that's something to keep in mind. Later on, these guys become some of the most tedious enemies in the game because of the fact you have to fight three of them, odd numbers, and you can't cheese the fight at that point. I know I'm going to try and avoid cheesing the fight, but at the same time, it's just annoying the fact that if you are playing this game just casually, then you're just going to want to get through the game quickly, and you can't because of the fact that you have to fight these guys who take so long in their animations and are very difficult to fight to begin with. I mean, they aren't that difficult, but they're still above there compared to a lot of the other enemies in this game. Even some of the hardest hitting enemies in this game aren't as difficult to hit, and they aren't tedious to fight. You know, they're hard, but they're not tedious hard. Needless to say, we now have 2 fuses, and we are now ready to go up the elevator that Paige fixed in the very beginning. Paige said that he needed to fix something, but the first time you interact with the elevator, he will fix it for you. So I think that's another one of those translation errors where he believes that he needed to fix it, but he really didn't, because he already did. So the puzzle here is pretty simple. You need to put the fuse into one of the slot it's allowed in, and then you need to shoot this wire with the gyro disc to give it an electrical current. It will now have juice. Just press the X button by it and wait a couple seconds.
Looks like it's working, Jade. But it's a real patch job. Not gonna hold long.
A very good time at video gaming at all. I had just downloaded the Injustice season pass, right? I was finding out more about the characters. I really wanted to get to that game, but I wanted to record this and get this recording session out of the way. And I didn't have a problem with that. But earlier that day when I was playing Injustice, I kept losing. I was playing against these kids who were playing as Superman, and I was just losing. And because of that, it must have rubbed off on me and made me mad, and now I'm messing up left and right on stupid little things, like eating a box of K-Bumps to restore all my energy when I'm not even in the middle of a boss. Not that many of the bosses in this game require you to use the K-Bumps. Only the last boss ever really pushes you that far. But this game will restore you with about a third of your hearts if you die. So, say if I had 12 hearts and I died, which I think I have 12 hearts right now. If I died right now, I would come back with four of my hearts. Very useful if you know how to exploit the game. And it keeps the game from ever having that much difficulty, though. But with that being said, we can now take a photo and get a code for this door and open it up so we can fight the well, not fight per se, but go to the end of this dungeon and leave, right? Because you know there wouldn't be a dungeon boss at all. No, there wouldn't be. They were scary to me, but it was one of the reasons why I couldn't go much further in this game when I was young. Not only because I wasn't exactly the brightest thinker, but because of the fact that I was afraid that I would bump into more DOMs. So now we're going to go through a little bit of a stealth segment, if you could call it that. We're going to go on this catwalk. To the right is one of our 3 objectives for this dungeon. I think that we had to take a picture of the crate, but no, really. The crate's going to go through an X-ray, and it's going to show a person on screen, an X-ray of a person on screen. We had to take a picture of that. That is our objective. I do grab it on the way out, though. First, I wanted to get out of the way the one of the 3 animals that only appear in this section. That would be the albino rat. Sorry there. This albino rat, basically what you need to do to take a picture of it is you need to jump down and then walk all the way to one side like I did. And then you need to come back to take a picture of it. And with that, that's roll of film 5 of 8. We're getting very close to finishing all the rolls of film. Of course, as you can expect, later on we're not going to get nearly as many animals. But for right now, we're getting quite a fair bit of animals in this game. That's mainly for the fact that we don't have at the point we started this game we had no animals. So of course there was all those animals to grab. You know. Now if you go all the way over here, you're going to go to the loading dock area. This is actually the boss room for the dungeon. But for right now we can't do anything because we don't have a specific character that will let us through, which, no, double H lets us through bars. That's something to keep in mind there. That, whereas Paige can break through thin fence, Double H can get both through thin fence and bars. So there's one of the X-ray pictures that we need to take, but we're not done with that mission yet. And needless to say, we still have quite a bit. Okay then. Well, now we're -1 Uncle Page, guys. So we're gonna have to track him down. To do that, we need to first open the store. To do that, we have to push the box so that it lines up with the eye holes at the very top, and jump up on the box and shoot the switch on the other side. And I just thought of this, but why is the looking hole so high on the door? Even the alpha sections came and looking through it. Needless to say, we're going to listen to what Paige has to say for us on the M disc.
Jade, you inherited generosity and courage from your parents. You know, I think about them a lot. We were very close friends. 20 years ago, we were forced to separate because we were all having some major problems with the authorities. Your parents put you under my care to save your life. We came to Hillis. Back then, it was a peaceful planet. I had hoped to raise you there safely. But the conflict spread. Now, you must know something. If I was able to get here, it was thanks to the Beluga, the spaceship that I designed and built with your father. It still exists, but I haven't exactly finished getting it back in top shape. You'll find the checkup report on my desk. The Beluga is at our place. You have to enter a code into each one of the consoles to open the secret hiding place. I can't say any more on this M-Disc about it, but I hope this information will be useful to you if, one day, you have to use the Beluga. No matter what happens, good luck, Jade. Uncle Page.
So we finally get to learn a little bit more about Jade. So we found out about what happened to her parents and why she lives with her uncle. Something they've been neglecting to tell us since we started the game about 3 or 4 hours ago. But that's okay. We just learned that Jade was an orphan, and that's definitely an interesting take on how she is, how she was raised. In most video games, the parents just straight out die. But I think that this character, Jade, it's better that her characters left her with Uncle Page so that she can avoid the authorities. Continuing on, we're now in the ventilation shaft, and we're going to hit the meat of what the game is really about in the dungeons. We've seen combat in the Black Mesa, or not Black Mesa, but the Black Isles. And we saw that the dungeon was mainly made up of a couple puzzles and combat. But this game is going to be different. This game is actually going to be focused more on dungeons, if you would call them, based around stealth, which I find is an interesting take on the adventure genre, and is a twist that I prefer and would prefer to see in more video games. It is one of the reasons why I would like to see a sequel to Beyond Good and Evil. And you'll see here we have a couple of easy to avoids guards right here. They are pretty much, to get past these guys, they are going to be looking in different directions. You can just crouch walk around them and you'll be pretty much safe. And you're going to also want to look around, because when you're sneaking around, sometimes the Doms are guarding PA1s and Crystal Pearls, and it's important to go grab those Crystal Pearls if you want all 88 of them, and if you want all 13 PA1s. So keep that in mind. This was on another easy one to get by since it's only our second one. Just sneak by when the other guy is looking, the moving patrolling guard is looking the other way. Now you see there are these little ventilation areas on the sides of some areas. If you get caught by an alpha section, you can actually run to those areas and the alpha sections will lose track of you. It's a very handy thing because sometimes you can just be minding your own business and for some reason you get caught even though you shouldn't have gotten caught. And it can be very infuriating when you get caught in this game too, because then you have to redo puzzles and things like that. So here's a simple puzzle. Just shoot the 3 buttons underneath each fire vent and Double H will be able to get across and help you with the laser gate on the other side. As I was saying, there was sorry if there was an edit there and you guys noticed, my sound actually gave out on the Dazzle.
In case you have no other choice in the matter, you can sneak up behind the guards and strike them on their air tanks. That's their Achilles heel. We'll meet up further on.
Basically what Double H has told us is something we should already know. The tanks on the back will, if kicked, send the alpha sections flying up the air and they will eventually explode. I demonstrated already on the one alpha sections that we got past and we had to kick to get by. But we're going to kick this one. And I think it's kind of very cruel what happens to these guys. They're just minding their own business and, well, they fly up in the air all of a sudden, and there's my phone. They fly up in the air all of a sudden, and they're dead. It's not fair. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that there was glitchy stealth segments. This is one of those glitchy stealth segments. So the solution here is simple. You go under here and you go by, and you will get by easily. You should get by easily because, you know, there's a huge gap between you and the wall. And you, the wall, and the alpha section, of course. And the alpha section that's turning around all the time shouldn't see you. Problem is, the alpha section guarding the doorway will sometimes still notice you even if you don't touch them. So it can be really infuriating when you're just minding your own business and all of a sudden you get caught. Now, in this dungeon, it's not much of a problem if you get caught. But in later sections of the game, getting caught will mean dying instantly. It's an instant game over, basically. And that can be very annoying, especially when some of these solutions to the stealth segments can be a little infuriating to see. I find that this stealth segment example is another glitchy one. You have to stay behind the box. And that's easier said than done. Because when Jade walks, she doesn't walk very smooth. So she'll have a startup animation before she immediately goes into her walking animation. Also, for some reason, the alpha section has seen me through the box before. Never really screwed me over game-wise because there isn't any instant game overs for getting caught right here. But it's annoying all the same to have the music suddenly changing. Now, we could just go straight out for the alpha section and knock them over, but that there was an alpha section ahead of the conveyor belt guarding a door. First off, we don't have the code to that door, and we would get caught if we tried using the door from our position. So instead we're going to use this back room, to get around the guard and find our next report objective. The first thing we need to do, though, is grab a couple Starkos and accidentally eat a box of K-Bumps. Because I'm stupid that way, and I didn't realize that pressing the circle button would do that right now. I had meant to press the triangle button, but I made a boo-boo. We all do eventually. So now that we've spent like $1,000 on food, we need to go over to this cabinet right here, equip the Starkos.
No, I'm not really hungry.
No, not the circle button. Press the X button. And you can put the Starkos right there. You pull out your camera quickly, and you have to take a picture of the little red ants that come out.
Good work.
There we go. One of the animals. That's not the animal, folks, that I find particularly annoying. Okay, and then there's the exit right there. Now there's a guard just around this Nutripills vat. You gotta press the button, then you gotta walk around. I suggest crawling and not running like I did. Running will get you caught. So now you guys get to see what it feels like to fight against an alpha section. Each hit will take 2 hearts away from you. And what you need to do is that when they attack, you need to strafe left or right on them. Then you need to do a full combo and they're pretty much done. However, if you're panicking because you only have 1 or 2 hearts left, because you neglect eating K-Bumps like I do, you will likely miss out on the combo and can die to these guys pretty easily. I say those are the only enemies I ever find difficult to fight in the game, if only for the fact that they do take 2 hearts away from you if they hit you.
Paige's shoes. What have they done with you?
What have they done with him indeed? They nommed on his body and now he's only shoes. So you do need those shoes. They are important to the end of the game. You need them before you can beat the game. Keep that in mind. And I also recall back in a certain M-disc from Paige that we saw schematics of his shoes. Huh. Well, moving on. We have 2 electrical gates to deal with, and that's pretty simple to deal with when you got these laser robots that are completely inaccurate at times. All you have to do is like the first one, push them into the appropriate slots. And there you go. Now you don't go into the first one right there. It won't give you all the M-discs if you miss this one right here. Go to the computer room, and we have yet another M-disc reader and an M-disc. This M-disc that we're picking up right here, though, is the Hylian government M-disc. Now we're going to use we're going to watch the surveillance camera M-disc and see what happened to Paige.
Did you undress him for packing?
Murderers! Torturers!
Affirmative. Jumpsuit and shoes. Everything's in the locker.
So he's been packaged up and he's going to be sent to the moon. And now we're going to look at the Hylian government M-disc. This one is a slideshow. I was going to try and read them all for you guys, but I decided that it would take much too long. This dungeon as it was already going to take an hour. So what I did for you guys is that I went through it slowly so that you guys can pause and read it if you so wish. If you want, I can repost the description of each object for you in the description or in a comment or however you guys feel like reading it. Basically, this M disc will tell you the details of every single enemy that the Hylian government has to throw against you. From the hovercraft things that pick up your hovercraft and throw them away, to the regular goons that you fight. Okay, now this is where I start getting a little paranoid. You're gonna see a lot of edits where I'm looking at the map. That's because I'm making sure that I'm not going to miss out on that little animal that's right here that caused me to have to redo this entire dungeon. So, you might be wondering, what is this animal? The animal's, it's not a bird, it's not a rat, it's not a bug, it's a fish. It's a fish in the middle of a base. And you're going to see why it's so ridiculous to have that one little animal here when the rest are non-amphibious, or just they're pests, or they're varmints, or however you like to put them as. It can be annoying to forget that animal because you have to replay pretty much the entire part of this game, entire part of this game, to get back to that damn animal. It is infuriating. Needless to say, we only have a couple more stealth segments left, and like I said, we are at the very end of this dungeon, and we're using the ventilation system that I talked about earlier to our advantage. We're going to want to hop up onto the side of this crate. The arm will come over, pick us up, and we can drop off onto the conveyor belt to find and get to the next area with our next report. And to the final animal that caused me so much trouble in this section. And this is me showing that's where the animal is. There's an M disc reader right there though. So if you ever, if you feel like you've missed the animal, you can just save right here. But now that you know it exists here, I don't think you'll forget. And now this is me thinking that the animal's underneath the report, when really it's to the right and to the bottom of me. Right now it's to the right and to the bottom of me. It's a fish in the water. I didn't notice it until I had missed it, basically. I also believe that I think you can get the fish somewhere else, but I could be wrong. So I went back to get it here so I wouldn't forget. Needless to say, all you need to do to get by this guard is to walk around him while he's facing the other direction. That can be harder said than done, because like I said, the game can be sometimes spotty with hit detection, and you can actually hit him when you're not intending at all to hit him.
Did you see the Alpha sections? Look at their faces, they're no longer human. They're controlled by the DOMs. We must inform the entire population of this. Quick, send a picture to the Iris network. I'll continue looking for a way in. We'll find each other sooner or later.
Ah, a face that only a mother could love. Okay, well, we got our report done. We got Factory Part 2 done, and I finally take the picture of the fish. It has given me so much damn trouble this whole entire episode. At least recording it. It is Dipus whatever. Yeah, live dipole. Impossible. So you're only going to give us $400 for it. Yeah. First one you've seen in years. Years, damn you. And you only give us $400 of it for documenting its existence. I think that's a bit ridiculous. I think I deserve a little bit more. especially considering what I've gone through to get it. Either way, this dungeon's pretty much going to be done for, and we are making our way out of here. We're going to pick up Double H. Everything's just going to be happy and dandy. We're going to be find Paige, and we're going to be cool, right? No. We're going to get caught first and get smacked in the face before we do that. And I hate this particular alpha section, because if you get caught by him, you can only do like one-hit combos on him. One hits. Because of the fact that he is in the laser, and he's immune to the laser. And you're not. Yeah, and he can just throw grenades too, which becomes even more a nuisance. And then he hits you, and he deals so much damage. It's easy to see why a person can die in this game. It's easy to see you can die in this game, even though this game is fairly easy. And I ate a box of K-Bumps. Why would I eat a box of K-Bumps? That does not make sense. The day I recorded this, guys, I was not having my fondest of days. I was not having a very good time at video gaming at all. I had just downloaded the Injustice Season Pass, right? I was finding out more about the characters. I really wanted to get to that game, but I wanted to record this and get this recording session out of the way. And I didn't have a problem with that. But earlier that day when I was playing Injustice, I kept losing. I was playing against these kids who were playing as Superman, and I was just losing. And because of that, it must have rubbed off on me and made me mad, and now I'm messing up left and right on stupid little things, like eating a box of K-Bumps to restore all my energy when I'm not even in the middle of a boss. Not that many of the bosses in this game require you to use the K-Bumps. Only the last boss ever really pushes you that far. But this game will restore you with about a third of your hearts if you die. So, say if I had 12 hearts and I died, which I think I have 12 hearts right now. If I died right now, I would come back with four of my hearts. Very useful if you know how to exploit the game. And it keeps the game from ever having that much difficulty, though.
Upper floor? Okay, I see where you're at.
But with that being said, we can now take a photo and get a code for this door and open it up so we can fight the, well, not fight per se, but go to the end of this dungeon and leave, right? Because, you know, there wouldn't be a dungeon boss at all. No, there wouldn't be. No. I do like the how they enter the codes in this game. How it's got that spiral look to it. I think that's really cool. It's a gimmick and it's only there for aesthetics reasons, but I think it's a different way of entering the code, where most games would have you dial it in like a suitcase number, or have you dial it in using a D-pad or something, or interactive keyboard. This one has kind of like that spiral thing going on, and even though it's just a glorified keyboard, it's kind of a cool glorified keyboard.
Calling all guards. Continue looking for the second intruder. The pig has been captured. They're bringing him in now. Your Excellency. The problem has been taken care of. My best men have found and neutralized all of the intruders. Everything's under control, Your Excellency. I'll take care of this minor detail myself.
Cast off moorings. Okay, lift off. Destination, the slaughterhouse.
And welcome to the Dom's air shaft thing. Frankly, I think it's a cool boss. I'd just like to say this right now, since we got out of that cutscene. That guy looked like he was going to be a boss, and that his weapon was actually going to be a dungeon item of sorts. Just a thought that I think that this boss was never supposed to be in the game, or if he was supposed to be accompanied by the Dom's guard. The, not Dom's, but the Alpha Section's guard that had the giant metal hammer. And I would have been interested to see them use that guard in some way. Either way, you're actually helpless against this boss without the help of Double H. What you need to do to get Double H, though, is you need to knock one of the legs unconscious, knock it out, and then Double H will come to help you. After Double H has come to help, you can use his super action so that you can knock one foot down while you go out and, well, he goes out and knocks one foot down, you're knocking down the other foot. This way, the grating on the sides will open up, and you can shoot the pearl with a disc. Frankly, it's an easy boss, and I would have loved to see the boss made more difficult using the Alpha Section's guard. Like I said, the Alpha Section's guard to make the boss more interesting and more difficult. Because, like I said before, this game does suffer from being too easy. It doesn't have very difficult puzzles. And those puzzles that are difficult, even then, are quickly solvable if you already know what you're doing.
Paige. They've taken Paige!
If it wasn't for you, it would have been me they took for a free ride in one of their luxury coffins. Turn ticket not included.
I'll find you, Paige, no matter what. Hang in there.
So Paige has been taken off. We have no chance of helping him right now. We have to go to the slaughterhouses to have any chances of helping Paige with escape. And even then, he might be taken off to the moon before we can do anything. Because we still do, guys. We still do have to go to the moon, like they said earlier. The thing is, you don't want to use any boxes of K-Bumps on this boss, or after this boss. Because 1, the boss is easy. 2, you will get a PA1 right after the boss. And I think that brings our hearts back up to 13. And by right now, we could just finish the game with whatever pearls the game gives us. And with whatever PA1s that the game straight out pretty much gives to us. But since this is going to be a 100% run, that's not going to be satisfying to us.
It's that way, Miss Jade.
So now Double H's memories are starting to come back to him. He's now calling us Miss Jade rather than Miss Thyris. And I do find that it's a funny thing that they made Double H forget everything but CARLSON and PEETERS. Like I said, he is my second favorite character next to Jade. I still think Paige kind of ties with him.
Is Paige a member of the Iris Network?
Could be. Don't ask me. All I know is how much he meant to me. Looks like you're finally getting your head back together again. You back with us?
Getting there. But my head is killing me. The machine gave my brain a good scrubbing.
Like I said, Paige either ties with him or is a close third. That's just because of the fact that he's got that CARLSON and PEETERS thing. I think that it's funny that he knows all these rules to this military handbook, and he knows exactly where these things are for, like, respect the home team and preserve the home team, and however he likes to place it, and never go alone, always bring a friend, always do this, don't go alone, go in pairs, and so forth. So these bars earlier were here. Paige could not cut them down. However, Double H is able to headbutt them down. And remember how earlier I was saying that you needed to grab a second fuse? This is where you needed to get used to fuse. If you didn't grab that second fuse from earlier, you're going to have to backtrack to the electrical closet and re-go through the process of running around the machine and getting the fuse.
It works. Double H.
Miss Jade, this thing is eating up my insides. I can't hold out much longer. The boys from Iris, they might be able to do something to help me. It's my only hope. Get me back to Iris. I'm begging you. I can't breathe, Miss Jade. I'm connecting to my auxiliary circuits, but they won't hold out very long.
Now, 4 minutes and 30 seconds does not seem like a lot of time to get Double H from the Nutripills Factory to the Iris Section's headquarters. But and you might think that we won't have enough time to get the pearl that's underneath this area, because earlier we defeated the Reaper and did not grab that pearl. But you'll quickly see that with even without boosts, you can pretty much destroy that time limit. It's pretty easy, and you can pretty much ignore it. Because right here, we already got the pearl, so we got 3 minutes and 50 seconds left, basically. And now we just need to get to the city, the Hylian city, and we need to get to the Iris section. Now we only have 3 minutes and 40 seconds. What can we do with that time? Well, you might think that it would be dependent upon how fast Double H can get to the Iris section or Iris headquarters, but really the only thing that holds you back in this segment is how fast you go. Double H will teleport to catch up with you, so you're never going to have troubles getting him to Iris quick enough. Take a left here, don't take a right like I did, otherwise you're going to go to the races. I would be tempted to try and beat the first race, and then see if I can get him back to Iris sometime. If that's ever been done, I wonder if it's possible. Because if it is, that'd be really funny. Just like, oh, Double H, let's forget about you for a moment and go right. Let's do a race. Okay, let's remember you now. and you see, even though we took a wrong turn initially, and we went to go grab a pearl, we still have 2 minutes and 48 seconds on that clock, which you wouldn't be able to do the 2 minute long race, but you do be able to do the minute long race.
Hey, quick! Double H is with me. He needs help.
Double H reporting for duty. The Alpha sections have taken possession of the... They pursue at your service.
Hub!
May, we have to give him our last dose of antidote.
Hub, can you hear me? Say something.
His pulse is dropping rapidly. Prepare the injection.
From your friend in exchange for your soul. Show
quick! We're losing him!
I'm here, Hub. You're gonna be all right. Hang on, it's almost over. Thanks to you, Jade, Hub is safe.
I just...
He's a fighter. He'll be okay. He'll be back on his feet in a couple of weeks. Friends, I believe Jade has just shown us an amazing demonstration of courage. Nice work, kid. Good. Now come have a look. That's where the victims are taken. That's where they've taken your uncle, Jade.
The old slaughterhouses.
Your next report.
Jade, your last report from the factory had a large impact on the population. The Hillians have spontaneously shown their support.
And we're done with this dungeon. We've now obtained all the pearls that it can give us, and we have 100%ed the Nutripills Factory. And with that, the episode is going to start coming to a close here. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure once again to show you this wonderful game that got little to no attention when it initially came out, and I hope to see you guys next episode.